Hello and welcome to the EVGA Podcast. I know it has been a while. You guys haven't seen us in a while. It's been, about 4 months in the last of the podcast?
Something like that.
Yeah, as you can tell, I haven't been here for a while, and obviously...
You look a lot different.
Yeah, beard's grown out. I was actually out on medical leave for a while, so that is why we had no podcast. But we're back now, and it's the week before PAX, so let's get started, shall we?
Did you have PAX Box?
No, I did not have PAX Box.
We avoided that.
First things first, throughout the course of this particular podcast, we do have a couple Homeworld remastered keys to give away. And they will be randomly given in the chat at 2 different points throughout this particular podcast. So keep an eye out on chat. They'll be posted. There'll be no warning. There'll be no anything. First person to get it and enter it essentially gets it.
And it is
a Steam key, yes. So keep your eyes peeled. You might get yourself a Homeworld key. Other than that, moving right along, first things first is a lot of you may have already been involved with the EVGA Valentine's gaming event, the Valentine's Mayhem, if anybody caught the reference for that, which I'm sure plenty of you did. That's been going on for about the last 2 weeks, and tomorrow is the last day. I recommend if you haven't become involved in that, you should get involved in that, because if you make the fourth tier, you get, sorry, audio is too low.
I think there's a system up for grabs on that one, right?
Yes, there's a velocity system up for grabs. Sorry, 1 second. Let me increase the audio for you. Sorry, we haven't done this in a while, so the calibration may be off a wee bit.
And now you have a beard too, so it might be a little bit more muted.
It's true.
Or man beard, as someone in the chat said.
Did you try braiding it?
I have not. I have had other people try to braid it. It's just not quite long enough, and it's a bit too thick. So unless you make really, really small braids, it just doesn't work very well. But that is what that is. Is the volume better? If anybody wants to let us know, that'd be fantastic. As I was saying, the gaming event ends tomorrow, and if you can get in there and get in that top tier, you have a chance of winning the Velocity PC, which is a pretty solid PC. And even if you can't make that full 15-hour mark, there's a lot of other prizes that they're giving away. So keep that in mind. So I believe you have some PSUs to go over.
Yeah, honestly, it's been so long, I can't remember if we actually talked about this or not, but we launched so we have a couple of power supply lines. We have the G1 or P1 series, and then we have G2 or P2. So we have a new line that's called GS and PS. And so we actually have one right here. So what this is the 1050 GS. We also have a 1000 PS and an 850 GS. These were really optimized to be very low noise levels.
Okay, so it's all about the decibels.
Right, and it's also a very efficient design. So it's very similar to the G2 type designs, the high-performing designs, but lower noise levels.
Okay.
And so it also has a feature here called Eco Mode. Some of our other power supplies have this. What it does is if you flip that on, basically the fan doesn't come on until, I believe it's around 50 degrees Celsius or so. So, for normal desktop applications, browsing the web, that kind of stuff, most of the time the fan does not even turn on.
So pretty much it's just going to be silent entirely. And in a lot of systems, that power supply can be a primary source of noise.
Yeah.
So not having a fan on there is just one way to get rid of that.
And so for anybody so there's some great prices on these as well, but if anybody's looking for reviews, Johnny Guru has a review on the 850 GS power supply. I got a 9.6 out of 10.
Not bad.
So a very solid power supply, and then you'll see the 1050 GS and 1000 PS reviews quite soon, but I expect them to rate very similar.
Yeah, lately most of the power supplies that we've had reviewed were 9.5 and above across the board.
The G2 line, P2 line, very solid. GS line, very solid as well. G1, the G1 line is a bit more designed for to hit lower price points and such. What was that?
Yes. Well, speaking of the power supplies, right now there's actually an event going on. Not necessarily an event, more so as a promotion. If you buy certain qualifying power supplies, you actually get a 7-year warranty upgrade. So the link to that's actually going into the chat right now. So if you were interested in a power supply and warranty matters to you, that would be something to check out.
Yeah, so if you buy one of these power supplies, all you have to do is register it, and then the extra warranty is automatically applied to the to your account. So there's nothing else needed, just register.
Yeah, 7-year warranty on the power supply is good. It's solid. It's a long time to have a power supply.
It's a long time, yeah.
Considering most people tend to upgrade their PCs anywhere from 3 to 5 years, it's a pretty significant length of time to have a power supply. All right, so what game will you be playing today, Jacob?
So today is Throwback Thursday, right? So I have an old box here. It's a 5700 LE. And we're also playing, it's not really an old game, but it's...
Should I put the name of the game?
Yeah, you can.
Yes.
It's not really an old game. Actually, it was launched on Kickstarter. We can switch over to me. So it had a Kickstarter. It's called Strafe. And what it is it's designed to look like a game from the late 90s, like an old school first-person shooter,
Dooms,
like in the same vein as Quake and Doom's maybe a little bit early, but certainly it's like Quake, maybe Duke Nukem, that kind of style of gameplay. So they launched a Kickstarter campaign. They were successfully funded, and they released this. They call it the Super Broken Time Attack build. It's like pre-alpha level. And what it is it's a speed run, so you go through the level and you try to get the fastest time. You try to complete the game in the fastest time possible.
How long does a normal run through go?
It's about, the best that I've been able to do is 4 minutes.
Okay, so it's not super short, but then again, not very long.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
we're going to watch Jake go through
So let's
the
go
run
ahead and
this
try this and see how we do. So the first thing you got to do here is pick your gun. So I like the machine gun here.
So what are the other two, though? I mean, the one on the right looks somewhat like a rifle to some degree.
So maybe we could just look at those real quick. So is it on there?
Oh, yeah, that's probably important. Tab out. Tab. I got it.
Alright, there we go.
That's a little bit better, isn't it? We can actually see what we're doing.
Okay, so let's go ahead and start this again.
He said they don't see game screen.
Yeah,
You should see it now.
it's on a delay. They should see it now.
So we have this is like a sniper rifle or a railgun. Oh no, this is the shotgun, sorry. Yeah, shotgun. You also have an alternate fire as well. And then this one, I don't know if I can switch. This one is the rifle. Sniper rifle or like a railgun. You could also throw this like...
Charges up significantly.
Yeah. And then my favorite here is the machine gun. So we'll go with this one here.
It reminds me of the alternate from Unreal Tournament, actually.
Yeah, I guess you could say it's in that kind of vein too. So these bad guys here, they have limbs that fall off. It's like an unrealistic amount of blood.
It's good old-fashioned pixelated blood.
So it's actually really hard, but once you get the hang of it, so when you fire your gun, I guess it's like...
He is currently using the X5. There's 3 mice. There's the X5, and there's 2 others. Yep. So the 3 mice are, we have the X3, the X5. The X3 is, you can't really see it in a small window, but we'll show it to you afterward. It is the base model. Essentially, that's going to be the cost-effective one. It's got the lower DPI switch, the lower DPI sensor on it. I believe it also has a slightly lower switch as well.
For the X3?
Yes.
It's 10 million quick life cycle on the X3. So basically the radius of the clicks and the X5 radius.
That's the same switch as the one in the Tour.
That's amazing.
So, is it the sound that in the game that's too loud, or is it the
What was the sound in the game that's too loud?
I haven't lowered our sound. Possibly gonna try and buff our sound some more. Sorry for all the issues, guys.
Oh, one guy says it's still too loud.
Alright, I'm lowering the game sound, and I will increase the recording sound further.
We should probably do this more than once every 4 months, I guess.
Yeah, well, you know, taking a 4-month hiatus may have something to do with this.
Still saying the game is too loud and turn up the gain on the mic. I don't know.
Working on it. Working on it.
In the meantime, someone asked if that was an EVGA keyboard you're playing on.
No.
No,
It's
that is
actually a
not.
monoprice keyboard. It is fully mechanical. I think it's cherry red, I want to say.
Okay, so how is the sound? The sound should be better. I've lowered the sound on the game to next to nothing at this point, so let me know again, and we'll find out.
Alright, well, I'm almost dead here, so.
Well, and then Jacob dies, so that's enough of that.
Yeah, so I didn't quite finish the run, but you kind of get the idea of it. That was 3 minutes right there that it took, so yeah, that wasn't a very good run anyway. So.
Can you say good to see you at PDX Line, Jacob?
Yeah, PDX 9 was fun.
I didn't get to go to this one, unfortunately. PDX is always a good time. Alright, so that's that. If anybody has any questions on that,
Much better.
put a link to the game in there. We actually have a link to the game's main page, so if anybody wants to check it out and go, it's called Strafe.
Yep.
Okay, so now that we're back to the main screen, we can show you the mice a little bit better. So this is the X3. This is the lower, basically the cost-efficient model. It's got the 10 million click switch in it, and it also has the lower DPI optical. As you can see, this is what the mouse looks like. And then Jacob is currently using the X5, which has the 20 million click life cycle, and it also has, I believe, the 8200 DPI laser.
This one's 6400. This
Oh,
one's
okay,
still
that's
optical.
the optical. The laser has the 8200.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have,
That's
so these are the optical versions. We also have laser versions of each of these.
We have a laser of the three as well.
Yeah, the X3 laser is exclusive at Best Buy.
That's
actually.
right, the Best Buy exclusive one, which is actually the Best Buy exclusive one is blue. This one is gray. The optical X5 is white, and then the X5L is also gray.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not mistaken, the LEDs on the X5 are fully customizable as well.
Yep, you can change them from software. Red, green, blue, pink.
Well, everybody wants pink LEDs in their mouse, especially you. Okay, so to the point that most of you are probably going to like, we're going to go over, well, more to the point, Jacob is going to go over the Kingpin classified card. I know a lot of people have been interested in that and finding out more information, so we're going to go into it a bit.
Speaking of pink LEDs,
yes.
this actually also has RGB LEDs you can configure from within Precision. There's 1, 2, 3, there's 4 separate LEDs that you can configure. One here, one here, one here, and one in the back here. You can set each color independently, or you can also set it to be like, you know, change from green to red as the temperatures change. So that's one of the cool features about this. But of course, it was really designed for overclocking. You can see the I/O bracket there. It can be converted to a single slot graphics card with a water block.
Okay, so it's similar to the previous cards.
So we do ship a single slot bracket inside the box that you can use to actually convert it to a single slot graphics card. Dual 8 pins plus 6 pin power input on the top there, so all the power you need for overclocking.
So give me the rundown on specifically why somebody would want this card over the other ones.
Really, there's the benefit of the RGB sensors, right? If you want it to match your system, there's that. But the main benefit of this card is overclocking, really.
So pretty much
14 power phases. It was really designed to be pushed to the limit for overclocks.
Makes sense with that many power connectors.
And some of the I've been watching a lot of the results people are getting, and they're getting like over 1550 megahertz, which is on air, which is quite good. So if you're into overclocking, this is a good card.
Didn't
Come to the back plate too.
Didn't Vince get really more record breaking, of course.
Yeah,
on
he
Firestrike.
did. Of course, the more exotic cooling you do, the better overclocking result you'll get on this particular card. But he was doing like 2,100 megahertz almost, something crazy like that.
Something laughably high.
Yeah, so
that's fantastic.
or if you for whatever reason, if you want a single slot graphics card, this is pretty much the only GTX 980 that can be a single slot graphics card.
Okay. What is the default boost clock on this on air?
I mean, the advertised boost clock I think is, what is it, 14 something or other. But when you're just in general, if you run the card, it's probably due around 1450 megahertz, I think, boost out of the box. But
Not
you
too
can
shabby.
you can do a lot higher than that with overclocking.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, considering the design on it, I'd be surprised if you couldn't.
Yeah, I would expect most of these cards to do at least 1550 megahertz or so, somewhere around there. Of course, it can vary a lot depending on so many
chip is
factors,
different.
but that seems to be the average, somewhere around there. Some guys are getting over 1600, which is pretty nice.
That sounds like fun. Okay, well, continuing on.
A lot of people are still talking about your beard. Maybe you could share some care tips.
Care tips, wash it. That's pretty much
Good advice.
Wash it. Occasionally I will condition it, because I'm very manly like that. Other than that, wipe your mouth after you eat, because that stuff gets in the way.
All right.
That's all I can really give you on that one. Yeah. Continuing.
Any news on ACX 2 Plus coming to other cards besides the Kingpin and 970, 960 cards?
For now, I mean, going forward, on any new cards, you can expect to see it, but there's nothing in the immediate close time frame that will.
So tentative, essentially.
Yeah,
Most likely, but tentative.
But I would expect to see it on any new stuff going forward.
Okay. Well, as far as other events that are going on, the X99 Rafflecopter event, it's an overclocking event going on our website right now. You can go check that out. That one's still going on. I believe it ends on March 4th. So you got a little bit of time to enter that. You can enter it via Facebook, Twitter, I believe Pinterest, and you can get extra entries with the Refer a Friend option. We're giving away a Hadron bundle and just a whole bunch of motherboards all over the place. So if you're looking for a motherboard, go ahead and enter that and chance to win a motherboard. Link is in the chat.
I brought something else too. Forgot to mention.
Now this is the new thing.
This is something new that we're working on. You see it there?
I'm sure most of you will recognize this. It's pretty
So-
standard shape for an AIO.
But looking at it, you can kind of tell exactly what it is. This is an all-in-one cooler for GTX 980.
Mm-hmm.
It may fit on other cards as well, but we're primarily targeting at GTX 980. So we worked with Asetek on the design. We will ship it as a separate, like this,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll include a shroud. You need the shroud because the tubes come out the top. And we'll also sell it as a all-in-one solution with the GTX 980, all combined. So,
Is this also something, I mean, obviously, is this interchangeable possibly with any CPUs?
not really, mainly because the tubes coming out the side there would be a problem for CPUs.
Couple questions on cost, if we know yet, and does it fit on an ACX 980?
ACX 980 will be very tricky to support because you still need a heatsink for the VRMs and for the memory.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really designed more for the reference cooler.
Okay.
And the pricing, haven't finalized the pricing yet, but if you see any of the other CPU all-in-one coolers out there, you could expect to see it somewhere around there. But one kind of neat feature about it is it has this really cool shroud sleeving on it.
Yeah, the braided tubing.
Which is looks pretty nice.
It does, and I hope it holds up. It looks pretty sturdy. So if that's an indication towards it, it should last a little while. A lot of people use braided cables to ensure sturdiness of their cabling, especially on mice and keyboards. So I can only imagine that would transfer over to this as well.
Yeah. Another neat feature about it is that the pump and the fan is all powered off of the internal graphics card header. So it doesn't have to plug to a motherboard header. You don't use a motherboard header. It has a pass-through connector that powers the pump, and then the fan plugs into that. So
that is mighty convenient.
It keeps the wiring pretty clean. One of these wires you will not even see because it'll just be inside the fan sink, the shroud.
Hey, all right.
Jacob, any plans to make a reference 980 in single slot?
No plans at this moment.
Hmm.
Kingpin only.
Kingpin only. I'm sorry. All right. Well, moving on to essentially what we started off with is it is a week before PAX. I will be there. Jacob will be there. Joe will be there. Joey will be there as well. If any of you guys will be there, Joey will be at PAX as well.
And it'll be very cold.
It will be very cold. I am not looking forward to 16-degree weather. And
very cold.
Yeah, no, I'm not walking anywhere. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
You can't
It's
convince
not a good
me.
idea.
Not worth it. So yeah, what are you looking forward to PAX?
Oh man, that's a good question. So PAX is March
6th through March 8th.
So Mortal Kombat X.
Of course, I'm not surprised at all. The game is actually coming out at the end of March, isn't it?
April. I can't remember the date
Okay.
exactly. It's like mid-April, I think.
So they should have quite a bit to show then.
I think so. They still have a lot of characters they haven't revealed. So
Have you gotten to play a demo of it yet?
no,
This might be the time.
Yeah, I know. I need to. I need to. I've seen it at a few shows, just kind of walking by the booths, but I haven't had a chance to really check it
That's
out.
unfortunate. So is that it? Just Mortal
Let's
Kombat?
see what else.
Everything
What
is
else we
full
got
gear?
coming? I don't know if there's going to be. I don't really know what else is going to be shown off. If there's any Battlefront stuff, that'll be really nice to see.
Good.
But that's probably more an E3 thing. But I don't really know.
I do know that this PAX East is actually going to be significantly larger as far as booths are concerned. Last PAX East, they used about half of the convention center, and then the other half of it was just tables and lines, essentially. When I was looking at the map for this one, the entire second half is full to the brim with booths. So there's a lot.
So how about you?
Lot of booths.
What do you want to see?
Well, I am looking forward to Dreadnought. I mean, I like that game a lot. It's fun to play. Obviously, I like the game. I am looking forward to Mortal Kombat. I am looking forward to see more so. I'm looking forward to Bloodborne. If they're going to be there with that, I know that game releases very, very soon. So whether they show too much of that or not, we'll see. Realistically, I haven't looked at a lot of new stuff. I mean, I've been out of the game for a bit. I've just kind of been doing my own thing out on my medical leave, so I haven't seen as many things lately. I'm not as up to par with my PAX knowledge that I usually am.
There's also, I just thought about Rainbow Six. They showed that. When was that? I don't think it's been at PAX. Maybe E3 they showed it the last time.
I know The Division has been
Division
touted
was there too.
like for the last 2 years, and everyone's been wondering what's been going on with that, but we've seen nothing from it in over a year.
But for me, Rainbow Six, I was not so much recent Rainbow Sixes, but the early Rainbow Sixes I was a huge fan of. So I like what I saw with the trailer on this one. It looked really cool. So I hope we can see more of that, definitely.
Okay. Well, I wish I had more information on PAX. I've been so busy setting up the actual our booth and our shipments to PAX that I haven't actually had a chance to look at what's going to be there as much. But I do know that there are going to be significantly more booths, probably a lot more indie.
Yeah, that's usually the case.
When we came back from South, actually, South was primarily indie. A lot of indie. Tons of indie. There was only 2 or 3 booths that were of decent size, and everything else was indie. So it was a very, very odd change of pace as far as PAX is concerned. But that was also the very first.
Yeah, it was the
PAX
first one, so I guess a lot of people probably wanted to feel it out a bit to see. So probably next year we'll see more.
Yeah, it had about
AAA booths.
2/3 of the foot traffic as the normal ones. I know the normal PAX is pulling around 75,000 people, whereas South got about 45-ish. But for its first run, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Not
We're
bad.
planning on any new cases, Jacob?
Not really. The Hadron, Air and Hydro is going to be pretty much the focus ones for the foreseeable future.
All right. Well, while we continue to mumble on about PAX, we're going to wrap this up here shortly. So next couple minutes, if you got any more questions, throw them out there. We'll continue to bumble on a bit, and then we'll call it. So now I have to think of something that's a PAX.
Any white motherboards in the future?
A lot of people ask us about white motherboards. If there's a lot of if we see a lot of demand for white motherboards, we may consider doing something like that, but haven't really looked into it.
A pretty big mix-up compared to what we've normally done. We've done black motherboards forever.
Yeah, I haven't seen a white motherboard in a really long time.
I don't think I've
seen
actually...
a few white graphics cards, but white motherboards, yeah, I can't remember the last time. It's been maybe long. Last time I remember seeing a white motherboard was a very long time ago.
They said our podcasts are too short, and any update on the keyboard?
Keyboard's still in the works.
Yeah, that's going to be a tentative.
I don't really have any updates on that except that it's in the works.
Odds are, when there's an update for that, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
And as far as the podcast being short, I mean, we got to spread our content around. We can't just sit here for 2 hours. I mean, I'd love to sit here for 2 hours and just chat with you all, but
let's do that today.
I'd run out of things to do. And no, I don't have time to do that today. Deadlines, people, deadlines. Other than that, anything else you'd like to add or toss in? Any information?
No, I think that about sums it up. I can't think of really anything else. I mean, there's GDC and GTC coming up.
Well, GDC's placement is inopportune for PAX. It's
like
the 2nd through the 6th. Yeah. It ends the same day PAX begins.
So there's a lot of stuff coming up, but
one thing I thought was interesting the last few weeks was Sony Online Entertainment being sold. That freaked a lot of people out.
Yeah, heard about that.
A lot of.
And GTA 5 was delayed again.
Yeah, GTA.
Shocking.
I'm really looking forward to that. I really want to try it in first person. I think it.
Me too.
I think it looks. It could be really, really great. It's already out on the consoles, but we need a mouse and keyboard for first person.
Yeah, we do have a new shirt available on the website. Somebody mentioned that as well. It's the PSU, essentially the PSU fan grills on the back and partially on the front. So if you were looking to get an EVGA shirt, those are going to be, they are currently available, I believe, in medium, large, and XL on our website. So if you're looking for a shirt, go take a peek. Other than that, I think we're going to pretty much call it there. That should be it. We will not be doing a stream next week because obviously we will be at PAX, so that is not possible with what we're currently doing. So look for Jacob's tweet for when the next podcast will be. Otherwise, have a good evening.
Bye.